Here's another indication of how badly things are going for Ukraine, that they felt compelled to do this.
It's very important have to have this made decision about this compact of democratic steps.
Yes, they brought in Greta Thunberg. That's how badly things are going for
they're
Ukraine.
like, well, we're not getting the ATACMS, so we'll bring in the Thunberg. I mean, what does Greta Thunberg have to do with this? What does this have to do with climate change?
I mean,
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you'd think if that was her concern, she could speak out against the bombing of the Nord Stream pipelines, right? That, as far as I understand, was not very good for the planet, but nothing there. I just, I wasn't one of the, I avoided the whole Greta Thunberg thing because whatever. But so many people promoted her as the answer to climate change and championed her as this hero. And now she's like going and like meeting with Zelensky. And also, if you read some statements she made, it was like a carbon copy of a State Department press release, literally, in terms of like the verbiage, like something about Russia's unprovoked criminal invasion of Ukraine. It was like literally whatever she said was taken exactly from the State Department. So whoever called her out as like a fraud and even as an op, I mean, I got to say, they're looking pretty good right now.
Well, Corey Morningstar did the first really thorough takedown of Greta Thunberg, showing how her school strike was sponsored by a startup firm run by a Swedish entrepreneur who was heavily invested in renewable technology, which is put forward as the answer to climate change. And then from there, she was supported by every major foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, Rockefeller Brothers Fund, which also supports Naomi Klein, who was there to host her for a talk when she came over on her messianic voyage on a supposedly carbon-free ship that was pedaled by like hamster wheels. No one talked about how she got home. But I'd never heard of this child before. And she was said to have superpowers that rendered her, first of all, above criticism, but also capable of divining the truth, a kind of Joan of Arc figure, because she was autistic or had Asperger's. I think that's what it was. And I mean, I'm no offense to, people who have autism or who are children, but being a child or having autism doesn't render you beyond critique if you are being used by powerful institutions run by very wealthy adults. And now we see that Greta Thunberg is fulfilling the most severe critiques of her critics and opponents, including from the right wing, which is that she's just a psy-op, because she's going to Ukraine, which, according to the official story now in US media, is responsible for one of the worst attacks on the ozone layer in human history, with the massive release of methane gas from the Nord Stream pipelines. I mean, if you believe that Ukraine was responsible for that, as the Washington Post is reporting, then you should kind of be upset. You should ask some questions of Zelensky. Then Greta Thunberg blamed the Kakhovka Dam collapse on Russia when there was absolutely no evidence to support that, and accused it of eco-terrorism, along with fellow renewable industry lobbyist Bill McKibben from 350.org. I mean, what is McKibben doing weighing in on this? It just shows the bias, but also what they're used for. And Zelensky himself is kind of a psy-op. It's just a meeting of two psy-ops. They represent, with their figure, two of the most important priorities for the transnational elite that meets in Davos. Climate change is a priority, not necessarily to save the earth, because their solution is going to require tons of dirty mining in places like the Congo. It's to tap into this resource of trillions of dollars in minerals that are going to be used to produce renewable sources of energy like solar, wind, all the carbon capture technology. And with global capitalism in a crisis, there aren't that many untapped resources like this left. So that's a priority, along with the Ukraine war, for the reasons that I outlined in my UN speech and that we talk about here all the time, Aaron, which is that it's a cash cow for the upper middle class in Washington that has an upper class from Washington to Orange County, California, that has vested interests in arms sales. The U.S. military budget is at its highest level adjusted for inflation since World War II. It's the only time in history that it was higher was World War II. And that's making a lot of people a lot of money. That's Zelensky's role right now. So that's why they met.